Stephen A. Gunther, and I'm going to be talking to you today about career decision coaching and how it can help you find your dream career in one session. So firstly, a little bit about me. I've been practicing counselling and therapy for a long time, almost 40 years. My own career consists of starting on an organic fruit farm after I left high school, and I then went to Sydney and worked in a whole variety of jobs. I ended up in my early 20s running an Australasian office for a mindfulness group. I drove taxis, I did street theatre and clowning, I set up a food co-op, I set up a seasonal signwriting business. I had a lot of adventures. Then I settled down, I started studying therapy, Gestalt therapy, and had my first child, moved to Lismore, and then set up a school for Gestalt therapy. Now, during this time, I also studied career counselling, and I worked with one of the greats in the field, Richard Nelson Bowles. He really inspired me, and I got very enthusiastic about helping people find their career path. Later on, I've done other things as well. I was living in Los Angeles for a while, and I set up a Masters of Spiritual Psychology, a subject I'm interested in, and I teach Gestalt therapy around the world now, including in China. So I could certainly say that I've followed my own dreams and had a lot of fun and adventures on the way. So I have a lot of inspiration to help other people also follow their dreams and find the career path that's right for them. So what I work with in my career decision coaching is two outcomes. The first is identifying what is the ideal career path. The second is figuring out how to go about that. So the core questions, what is my calling? What is it that I really want to do in my life? What's the best fit between my interests, my aptitudes, my skills and the job? My orientation is very results driven because at the end of the session we come to a definite decision on your part as to the right career path. The process that I use is not just a kind of a technical process or filling in a lot of forms or assessments. It's a creative exploration. It's about getting to know you and for you to get in touch more with yourself. So I take a very holistic approach. And we end up with these two ideal career profiles. The session takes a long time. It's 4.5 hours. It's a bit of a marathon, and sometimes we break it into 2 or even 3 sessions according to what's comfortable. The cost, I charge $750 for that, which is pretty good because a lot of career coaches charge $250 a session, and even after 3 sessions most coaches won't guarantee that kind of outcome. I can also do it online or in person, and there's no particular preparation that's necessary for the session. Who's suitable for it? Well, some people actually know what it is that they want to do, and they lack the confidence or the support or the circumstances to put that into practice. So those people need career action planning. They don't need career decision coaching. Some other people might have a lot of emotional troubles, depression or anxiety that gets in the way, and then obviously that needs therapy rather than career coaching. Because the coaching process here is not so much exploring your feelings, it's more exploring, we explore what's exciting for you and interesting for you. We don't go into the details of your feelings as I would if I was doing a counselling session. The kind of things we cover in the session: we look at your background history, we look at your experiences with work, positive and negative, we look at the kind of experiences that you love doing, we look at your role models, the people that have inspired you, we explore your values, both personal values and work values, and we identify your dreams and aspirations. We also look at any major limiting factors or major sources of support. We cover something called life-work planning, which is the balance between education, work and leisure, 3 of our main domains in life. And although we're focusing on work in this particular process, education and leisure are also important, and I do a little bit to address those in terms of what quality means. and what quality means in your leisure life and your education life. Often education these days is very much conceived of skills for a job, but it can mean a lot of other things. We also look at your aptitudes, your preferred types of work activities and the kind of environments you like to work in. I then look at the different options for deciding on a career, and the first option that some people go for is the expert model, which is you go to the expert who then tells you, based on their assessments, what they think is best for you. An alternative version would be going to an astrologer who says, well, according to your star sign or something, this is best for you. That's not the approach we take here. A lot of people use personality profiles, which I think have value, but I think they're limited. And other people use, naturally people just experiment with different careers in their lives. They try something, they get offered something, and that helps people really understand who they are and try things they might not have otherwise thought of. But this process is really just identifying particularly what kind of skills you love doing. So when I say skills, we talk about 3 different types of skills. There's what's called transferable skills, special knowledges, and self-management skills. Self-management skills are kind of like personal qualities, like humility or persistence or something, things that help you along the way. The special knowledges are the particular content knowledges which you have, some areas you have expertise on, which is useful, but the most important thing is your transferable skills, because they can be taken from one area to another. And so we catalogue what are the skills you really love using, and then what we do is we put them together, because in naming your career, we want to find a career that involves you doing the things you love doing, using the skills you love using, and in the subjects that you are really fascinated by. So we develop a picture, we build up a range of options, and finally you come to a career decision. Now, we reach that point in the session, and then of course there's the question, well, what's next? Because having reached that clear career profile, the next is action. How are you going to put that into practice? How are you going to find the job in that ideal career? Or possibly, how might you establish a business? Because some people are interested in that, or it can be an option. So then we have a series of questions which explore that, and in fact there's a whole template that I have, a series of 17 steps which I outline with you, which explain what you can do in terms of moving systematically towards manifesting that career. And that includes not just doing it on your own, getting what we call a success team behind you, identifying obviously any further needs for training and education that you have, job hunt strategies, interviewing, the use of contact networks, identifying what we call the ultimate individual targets, the people who have the power to hire you, something about interviewing. So that's a lot, and what I do is I have 134 pages which you take away with you, which give you a clear idea of how you can go about these subsequent steps. So there's a lot there. There's a lot of quality packed into one session, and it's quite intense. There's a momentum to it, but you end up both with a clear ideal career path and a clear way to go about it. So I'm very excited to present this to you, and a lot of people have benefited from it, and it's a process that I really enjoy doing with people, finding your bliss.